Christian charities, allegedly Christian charities, are performing evil in the name of God. There's a special punishment for them in the afterlife, but in this life, that punishment is coming in the form of Donald Trump. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel as we break down how charities in the name of the good are performing human trafficking and breaking American laws. Now get ready, because a lot of us are Christian, and this is going to start firing very close to home. Watch this.
For years, non-governmental organizations have been raking in big money, profiting off of illegal immigration. Now, the Free Press recently found 3 of the most prominent NGOs include Global Refuge, Southwest Key Programs, and Endeavors, Inc. They saw their combined revenue grow from $597 million back in 2019 to $2 billion by 2022. That was the last year available. Now, the CEOs of these companies all are making over $500,000 a year.
Now, these NGOs are making tons of money. They're supposed to be helping people. I do believe they actually also help people. That is, they probably provide food, they probably save some lives, but then that becomes a cover. When your good works become a cover of doing incredible evil, you have to clear it out. It's probably similar to like how TikTok is great for people making videos, but it's also a Chinese spy app. And then you use the protection of free speech to cover up for the thing that is evil, which is spying on American citizens and sending the information back to the Chinese government. Well, that's what all these NGOs can do. They can cover up their evil. More with Laura Ingraham here.
And one CEO of Southwest Key Programs is making over $1 million a year. So realize this. Under the Biden administration, you were unknowingly subsidizing the killing of Americans, the overwhelming of our country by illegals, obviously the drugs, the human trafficking, all of it. We end up subsidizing it through these NGOs. Well, luckily, President Trump, he's putting it to an end.
That's just this week when Trump said, we're not funding these NGOs anymore. And of course, the left comes out with their media and says, but our charities that help people, they save people's lives. And we knew that they were going to have to do these sob stories to fight back against Trump. And so this is going to be an argument played out in media, which is why I'm coming out in support of Trump, in support of Laura Ingraham, in support of shutting down these NGOs, and backed up by Kristi Noem, who took the place of evil Alejandro Mayorkas.
Today, we are announcing that we have stopped all grant funding that's being abused by NGOs to facilitate illegal immigration into this country. We're not spending another dime to help the destruction of this country.
Joining me now, Charles Marino, former DHS senior advisor. Charles, we at The Angle have been reporting on this for many years, focusing primarily on Catholic charities and Lutheran services, but there are so many others across the country.
So she brings up Catholic charities, whom we've already slammed, and Lutheran services, just in case you think the Protestants are amused. It's Catholic charities and Protestant charities, probably also Jewish charities, perhaps even Mormon charities. I think all charities, they tend to go woke. And this is about the wokeification of the church, and I'm here to call it out as being extra wussified.
That are making so much money off the illegal immigration crisis. What do people need to know about these so-called charitable efforts?
Well, what they need to know is the role that they've been playing the past 4 years at the request of the Biden administration, specifically with the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Health and Human Services. And that was, they were facilitating the largest human trafficking operation in the United States. They may have well been working directly for the Mexican cartels.
That's the DHS under Alejandro Mayorkas and the HHS, Health and Human Services, which RFK is about to take over. For 4 years, they've been helping facilitate, bring in illegals, and participating in human trafficking, and it's been incredibly profitable. Now, here's where it comes closer to home. Is I worked on 4 years of the Veggie Tales for DreamWorks and Netflix. I loved my crew. I got to work with Phil Vischer, the creator of Veggie Tales, who is a completely woke uterus Trump hater. Here's Phil Vischer on Twitter saying, a helpful note for my angry and underinformed. He always claims the Trump supporters are ignorant because he's such a snobby, rich, white elitist. He says the refugee resettlement program just defunded by Trump has nothing to do with the southern border or illegal immigration. These are two different conversations, and that in and of itself is a lie. That's if he knows better. He should know it's a lie. It is a lie that they are the same conversation. So he's trying to provide cover for them, and then he calls Trump supporters ignorant. I'm just going to give you this one little fact by Mischief, also on Twitter. Senator Josh Hawley, rep of Montana, rips the Department of Homeland Director, Office of Refugee Resettlement. That's the exact one that Phil Vischer just now tried to cover for. Robin Dunn Marcos, to shreds over 85,000 unaccompanied for immigrant children, many of which were released to you-know-what trafficking. Here's Josh Hawley hammering this lady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Marcos, can I just start with you? You testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation, as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports, these stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Now, the Know Your Rights stuff, they only give the kids and the illegals the Know Your Rights on remaining silent, non-compliance. They never tell them their rights about that you don't have to perform illegal work. You don't have to be a slave and work in people's houses. You don't have to submit yourself to their escort services. Yeah.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not giving meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator, ORR...
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. A century. It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. It's since slavery we haven't seen it. That's what all of these anti-Trumpers are defending. And Trump is here. I don't care how foul he is. He's here to turn that table over in the temple, and there's always some woke, leftist, evangelical, or Catholic trying to set that table right back up and perform this evil paganism once again. And it's all because they hate Trump so much and they think they're so pure. Phil Vischer on his anti-Trump goes like, I have to hold my nose. I could never vote for him in his self-righteousness as he covers for child trafficking in America. The creator of VeggieTales. Now, he doesn't own VeggieTales anymore, so you don't have to punish the show, nor the amazing episodes we made. Here's Laura Ingraham. And remember, she's going to talk about Cardinal Dolan, and I believe she's a practicing Catholic.
Let's also remember that 350,000 missing unaccompanied minors were facilitated by these NGOs. There should be outrage here, not only from the American people, but by Congress. There needs to be an investigation forthwith to bring these CEOs to Congress and find out exactly what was going on. But for the American taxpayer to have to send billions of dollars to these NGOs to facilitate the entry of illegals into this country, to include criminals and terrorists, is unacceptable.
Walk them in, put them on trial, investigate them before Congress, have Josh Hawley hammer them. They have to be reformed because this is evil. They're putting out all their good works and they do this secret evil behind the scenes, massively destroying young people's lives and illegals.
No, and I know Cardinal Dolan in New York was upset with J.D. Vance because he called out Catholic Charities, and he's a practicing Catholic. But I mean, you gotta call this what it is, correct, Charles? I mean, no one wants to criticize Catholic Charities, but you can't be facilitating illegal immigration.
There you go. Good people. See that? J.D. Vance is a Catholic, calls out the charities. Cardinal Dolan, what in the world are you thinking going after J.D. Vance instead of going out and reforming your own charity? Look inside. All of us, or our religion, our Christianity, our churches are worthless if you end up performing incredible evil. The largest human trafficking in our country's history since slavery has been covered up by the church, Catholic Church, Protestant Church, woke anti-Trumpers that hate Trump more than they love children.
Well, especially when these charities are setting up operations south of the border in Mexico and along the path of migration to educate these illegal migrants on how to gain entry into the United States.
Yeah, the comic books.
What are we doing here?
She mentions the comic books. I'm a comic book artist. They did. They translated comics into Spanish and did some of them with no language at all. So visually they could read the comic because most of them are so illiterate. So that actually even affects not only my animation career, but my comic book career. And I'm here to reform that too. Animation shouldn't participate in evil. Comics shouldn't participate in evil. These charities should not participate in evil.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Well, President Trump's going to put an end to this madness, and it's about time. It's been going on for decades, frankly.
And Trump is putting an end to the madness. He's going to save these children's lives. Even while all the Christians, all they can say is, oh, what he did to E. Jean Carroll, so evil, with no proof. Oh, that he grab a woman by the hoo-hoo, that's so evil. More evil than selling 85,000 children into trafficking? You moron. I'm Doug in exile. Now you know.